Now, let's talk about social engineering, a threat that attacks people, not systems. Imagine you receive a call from a stranger asking for your username and password for your corporate email account. If that happened, you would most likely hang up immediately, probably with a few not-so-kind words directed at the attacker. But now imagine that that same attacker introduces themselves as a member of your company's IT department. He knows your name and job title, speaks in a friendly tone, and tells you he needs to perform a configuration on your email account to increase its security. At that moment, you might lower your guard and share your information. That is social engineering, manipulation and deception designed to make you do something you normally would not do. Social engineering is based on persuasion, creating a sense of urgency or trust so that the victim acts without thinking. Attackers do not need to be computer experts. They only need to sound believable. Let me show you some real cases that have caused major damage using social engineering. The first case occurred at Coinbase, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchange platforms in the United States. In 2025, it was discovered that some external customer support agents had been bribed to provide sensitive user information, such as names, dates of birth, and even parts of social security numbers. With that information, scammers called users while pretending to be technical support staff and convinced them to transfer their own crypto assets. This resulted in significant financial losses for users and major remediation costs for the company. This case leaves us with a very clear lesson. Many times, the weak point is not the technology, but the trust we place in someone who appears to be helping us. The second case occurred at Marks & Spencer and Co-op in the United Kingdom, which were victims of a sophisticated social engineering attack. In this attack, criminals targeted IT staff using social engineering techniques. They impersonated employees who needed their passwords reset and managed to get help desks to approve the requests. They also used techniques such as impersonation and manipulation of text messaging to consolidate access. The result was unauthorized access to systems, operational disruptions, and significant financial losses for the affected companies. This case reminds us that human controls, such as verifying identity before resetting credentials, are extremely important and critical. We can also mention the example of Allianz Life Insurance Company, a major insurance provider in the United States. In this case, the attacker took advantage of negligence on the part of a cloud-based CRM provider. Using social engineering tactics, the attacker convinced the CRM provider to grant system access and managed to steal data from a large portion of the company's 1.4 million customers. The exposed data included personal information such as names, addresses, and dates of birth of customers, financial professionals, and employees. Although the company acted quickly, informing authorities and offering identity monitoring services, the damage had already been done. This highlights an important reality. Your provider's security is also your security. Cybercriminals use different methods to achieve their goals. Some create fake websites that look identical to your bank's or social media platforms to steal your credentials. Others literally dig through trash looking for documents, bank statements, or reports containing personal information. Some make phone calls pretending to be employees of companies or institutions, while others send emails or text messages that look legitimate but are actually traps. There are even attacks where infected USB drives are left in public places, offices, hallways, or parking lots. And of course, someone curious finds one, plugs it into their computer, and without realizing it, becomes infected with malware. All of these are examples of social engineering. Now, although in the next videos we will go deeper into the different types of social engineering attacks, let's briefly review some of the most common ones so you can start recognizing them easily. A very common attack is voice phishing, also known as vishing. In this social engineering technique, the attacker makes a deceptive phone call. For example, they may pretend to be a representative from your bank, a phone company, or even a government institution. They use technical language, a confident tone, and sometimes even know real information about you, which makes them seem legitimate. The danger is that over the phone, it is not always easy to verify who is really on the other end. And now, with the evolution of artificial intelligence, it is becoming easier to clone people's voices, making this type of attack even more convincing and dangerous. That is why if someone calls asking for personal data, even if they seem familiar, the best thing to do is stay calm, do not provide any information, and say that you will call back using the official number of the person, company, or institution. That simple action can save you from a scam. Another method attackers use involves malicious USB drives. In this attack, the attacker leaves malware-infected USB devices in public places, hoping that someone will plug them into their computer out of curiosity. As soon as that happens, the malware is installed, and the attacker gains access to passwords, files, and internal networks. There are even USB devices with built-in malicious functionality that can be easily purchased online and are very easy for attackers to use. That is why you should never connect an unknown USB drive. It may look harmless, but it is like inviting a thief into your home without realizing it. There is also an attack known as dumpster diving, which literally means diving into the trash. And yes, there are people who go through trash looking for confidential information. Among discarded mail or printed documents, they may find bank statements, forms, invoices, or even corporate emails. This is a reminder that we should always shred or destroy any document containing personal information before throwing it away. Another very common online method is phishing, where attackers use emails, text messages, or social media messaging to deceive their victims. Attackers send messages that appear to come from trusted sources, for example, your bank, a well-known store, or even a coworker. The message might say something like, "Verify your account," or "Your package could not be delivered. Click here." If you click, you are taken to a fake website or a virus is downloaded onto your device. This is known as phishing, and we will explore it in more detail later. Despite the different types of social engineering attacks, the good news is that you can protect yourself with a few simple habits. Always verify the identity of anyone asking for information, whether by phone, email, or text message. Do your own checks. Look up the official number or website and contact the organization yourself. Use strong, unique passwords for each account and enable two-factor authentication. That adds an extra layer of security. Never open links or attachments from unknown sources. If something seems suspicious or too good to be true, it probably is a social engineering attack. And remember, if you find a USB drive or external disk and you do not know where it came from, do not connect it. It may seem like a small mistake, but it could be part of a trap. Social engineering does not attack systems, it attacks people. But with knowledge, caution, and common sense, you can avoid falling for these tricks. So the next time someone asks you for personal information, tells you something is urgent, or offers you a benefit for a very limited time, stop for a minute, take a breath, and ask yourself, is this real? That pause can make the difference between staying safe and becoming the next victim.